Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. And finally, after a very long time, this is going to be a video where I sit and talk. As I promised to you in my last video, finally this video is about how to find a house in Korea and what are the types of houses you can opt for and how much do they cost. So instead of wasting any more time, let's just directly jump into the video. So first we are going to talk about how do we find houses in Korea. So the first way of finding house in Korea is by using apps. So there are a lot of apps available, like for example Naver, Pudongsan, Chiptos, Habang, Chikpang, and all of these apps have different options to choose from. So it's very convenient and you just sit at home and look for houses online. For example, if you like any house and you want to inquire more about it, just put a message through the app and that app will send the message to that particular real estate agent and then they will contact you back. The second way of finding houses in Korea is by directly entering into a Pudongsan. So Pudongsans are real estate shops which are available everywhere in Korea. Literally there will be a Pudongsan at every 2 minutes in any area that you go, and you just enter the Pudongsan directly and put your request and they will find a particular house for you. You just have to let them know your budget and what type of house do you want and they will search and get back to you. And also if you're entering a Pudongsan directly, make sure that you go to a Pudongsan in an area where you want to look for a house for. The third way of finding houses is through Facebook pages. There are a lot of Facebook pages which put ads of houses, and also one more app which is called Kopang. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. It is used to find share houses. I'll talk about it more in the types of houses. Now let's move on to the types of houses and how much do they cost. So the first option you have if you're a student is university dorms, and you can get the information of the dormitories on the university websites very easily. And talking about the rent of the dorms, the universities usually charge per semester, so it depends on which university you are in, but in general the average rent ranges from 1 million Korean won to 2 million Korean won for a semester. Now when I talk about the prices in the video ahead, I'm going to use Korean won and I'll put the average conversion in Indian rupees and USD on the screen, so make sure to check that out too. Coming back to university dorms, so as I said, they range from 1 million to 2 million Korean won per semester, and again it depends on the university if you have to pay any deposit or not, but deposits for dormitories is very less. It can range from 100,000 Korean won to 200,000 Korean won, so it's very cheap. And as we all know, in dormitories it's very difficult to get a single room, so it will be a shared room with a shared bathroom, and you might also have a shared kitchen in the dormitory. But dormitory also has disadvantage, which is they have curfews, so you have to be in the dormitory I think before 1 AM at night, and after that you are not allowed to enter the dormitory. So there are few pros and cons of all the types of houses. The second type of housing is Goshwons, which is literally half the size of a dormitory room, and it just has a small bed, a small washroom and a small closet. And this is recommended to people who come to Korea for a short-term stay. The rent of these Goshwons may range from 250,000 Korean won to 700,000 Korean won. And talking about few of the pros of living in a Goshwon, you don't have to pay utility bills, you don't have to pay any maintenance, and also there's no deposit. And in Goshwon kitchens you will find free kimchi, free rice, and also few of the Goshwons provide free coffee mix sachets. The cons of living in a Goshwon will be there is literally no window space in Goshwons. Even if there's a window, it will be very small, and outside the window there will be like another building, so the window is of no use. And when I first came to Korea, I lived in a Goshwon for like 3 months and I was paying 500,000 Korean won for that small room, which didn't even make sense. Honestly, for me it was really difficult to adjust living in a Goshwon because first it was a very small space, second it was very difficult to clean, third, when I used to take a bath in the washroom, my room used to get flooded with water, like because there is no insulation on the bathroom doors generally in Goshwon, so it's really difficult to live in a Goshwon. But if you are here in Korea on a budget and you're here just for like 10 or 20 days, maybe you can opt for a koshi one. The third type of housing is hasupchib, or a shared house. So the rent for these types of houses range from 400,000 Korean won to maybe 700,000 Korean won with little or no deposit. And few of the pros of such houses can be, like I said, no deposit, you don't have to pay any utility bills, and a lot of shared houses also provide you meals. Like I think they provide you 2 or 3 meals per day, and in such houses you might get your own private room, or you might also have to share a room. It depends from house to house. So shared houses are basically houses which are like in a villa form, and it might happen that the owner lives on the second floor and the first floor is available for renting. So basically on the first floor you might have 2 or 3 rooms, and you will have to share that one house with other tenants. The fourth type of housing can be one rooms. Now the rent for such one rooms range between 300,000 Korean won to 600,000 Korean won, or it can also be a bit higher depending on the state of the room. And the deposits might range from 3 million Korean won to 10 million Korean won, which is a lot actually. And sometimes the one rooms can be good and clean, but generally a lot of one rooms are located in like a very old apartment, and in a lot of cases such one rooms are located in the basement areas of old apartments. Anyway, if you opt for one room, you will also have to pay the utility bills, the maintenance on your own, and the maintenance can range from 50,000 Korean won to maybe 80,000 Korean won, and sometimes also 100,000 Korean won. And apart from this, the utility bills will be according to your usage. So in winters maybe you'll have to pay the boiler bill, and in summers you will have to pay the AC bill. So it depends on your usage. And few of the pros of living in a one room is you have your own privacy, you have your own kitchen, so it's a really good option. The next option of housing is office hotels, which are similar to one rooms but a little bigger and cleaner with a lot of modern facilities present in the house. And office hotels are of 2 types. They can either be like just a room, one room, or it can be a loft style apartment like mine. If you haven't seen my apartment tour, I'll link it somewhere on the top. Go watch that video and then come back to this video. So moving to the rent of such office hotels, the rent can range up to 600,000 Korean won to 1.5 million Korean won, and also the deposit starts from 10 million Korean won. So it's really expensive to live in such office hotels. Also, you have to pay maintenance on top of your rent, which might range from 80,000 Korean won to over 100,000 Korean won or 120,000 Korean won too sometimes. And also you have to pay the utility bills like gas bills, electricity bills, internet bills by your own. All this cost adds up to your rent. And finally, the last type of housing is 2-room housing, or more bigger apartments in like big societies, which are just out of reach for students because they're really expensive. So till now we talked about how do we find houses in Korea and what type of houses we can opt for with their costing. And before ending the video, I would also like to talk about few things you should remember or you should be careful about before signing a contract for any house. So the first one is Pudongsan fee. That is, a real estate agent will ask for a fee after you sign a contract for your house. So the fee for the Pudongsan will be approximately half your 1 month rent. The second thing is, if you are moving into a new house in Korea, you have to apply for Chonip Shingo, that is registration of new tenant, and a lot of owners don't allow that because of some tax issues or something. So it is very important to ask the owner before signing the contract if they are allowing it for you, because if they say no, it's very risky to sign the contract, because if you do not do a Chonip Shingu, it's illegal to stay in Korea. So please be careful and ask beforehand. Third thing is, the contract in Korea generally start from a year and more, and very few owners allowed to sign a 6-month contract for any house. So also be careful about asking that beforehand. The next thing to be careful about is reading the contract thoroughly. Because you are a foreigner, sometimes owners might take you very lightly. So please read the contract thoroughly. Maybe use a translator to translate the contract from Korean to English, because here, if when you're signing a contract, everything is in Korean and nothing is in English, so you have to use a translator. And also, for example, you have to move out of the house because your contract is about to get over. You have to inform the owner beforehand. So sometimes it's written in the contract that you have to inform the owner 2 months before leaving the house, or sometimes it's 1 month before leaving the house. So make sure to keep this in mind when you sign a contract. And the last thing you have to remember is, so before you leave the house after your contract has ended, make sure to clean the house thoroughly, because otherwise the owner might cut some of your money from the deposit and just return you the remaining deposit. So you have to make sure that the house is clean before you leave. And by clean, I mean you have to literally clean your washing machine, your chimneys, your bathroom, and everything. So yeah, so those are a few tips from me that you have to keep in mind before signing a contract. And I hope this video was useful for a few of you guys, because a new semester is going to start soon in Korea, and a lot of you might be coming to Korea in these next few months. So I hope this video was useful for you, and if it was, please mention that in the comment section. And also do mention in the comment section about what type of videos would you like to see on my channel in the coming few months, because finally I have decided to be consistent now in 2025. That is like one of my resolution. So anyway, that is it from me for today. And if you like this video and this video was informational for you, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next video. Till then, 안녕히 계세요.